So imagine how happy I was when I moved to Florida. No matter where I went, there was the ocean, so gorgeous, so calming. I loved it. There was only one tiny problem, and that was I did not know how to swim at all. Now, my mom says when I was really small, she took me to swimming lessons, but that I never learned. And I think that is a made up story. Thanks, mom. So, but not knowing how to swim never stopped me. I was always ready to run into the waves or just jump into a pool. That was until the summer of 2015. So last year, during the summer, my husband and I decided to go for a water sports trip to Key West, which is in Florida. Just to give you an idea, there are these cruise companies that will take you out in their boats to the middle of the ocean, and then you can spend the whole day doing snorkeling or parasailing and riding jet skis and so on. It was a really hot summer day, and who wouldn't want to be in the cool blue waters, right? I was really psyched, especially for snorkeling, because I would be trying that for the very first time in my life. We went through all the training of putting on our life jackets and putting the tubes into our mouths. And soon I was standing at the edge of the boat, ready to jump into the water. My husband, who had already been on this trip and had already tried snorkeling before, had one piece of advice for me. Whatever you do not let go of the rope. So there I am, already, I know all the stuff that I have to do, and I'm laser focused on one rope that is bobbing in the water nearby. Sounds fairly simple, right? Well, what I hadn't accounted for was the very large group of Indians who were also part of the same cruise group. Remember that, because that is going to be important. We all go into the water, I grab the rope, and just about managing to keep my head above the water, and what do I see? Every inch of that rope is being held on to by an Indian. Now, those of you who know snorkeling know that it is not about holding on to a rope. But hey, I understand, we come from a really crowded country, so moving in crowds is probably like a safety blanket for us. So that's what we all were doing, we were holding on to a rope. Understandably, the instructors are really amused, and they are laughing at seeing so many people hanging on to a rope for their life. Slowly, I start to relax, and I'm about to just enjoy the water. I felt a tug, and my hands were no longer on the precious rope. There is one moment of clarity when I just put up my hands and yelled, say, "Help me, help me." And in doing so, I start swallowing copious amounts of salt water. I don't know what to think. I'm thinking, oh God, this is how it all ends. I'm flailing about in the water with my hands, and my panicked husband is beside me because he doesn't know swimming too, so he can't really help me. The instructor is completely unfazed by all this. And all I can think is, isn't that guy supposed to jump in and help me? Because I have this terrible Baywatch hangover. But all that doesn't happen. After what seems like ages, he gives me a float. I manage to grab it and somehow pull myself up onto the boat. I'm so relieved. I have this feeling like I'm seeing the world with new eyes, and I've been saved from drowning. I want to run to my husband and just hug him. And it almost feels like people would be clapping for me. The instructor comes up to me and says, you were not really drowning, you had a life jacket on. But you did push a lot of other people around, so that wasn't cool. I look down at my life jacket, I look at all the Indians who are visibly angry and staring at me. And I'm so mortified that for the rest of the trip I don't do anything crazy, I just stick to my husband. So what did I learn from this really foolish and embarrassing experience? One, do not jump into the middle of the ocean if you don't know swimming, no matter how tempting it is. But because I know there will be people like me who will still do it, so wear your life jacket, and more importantly, remember that you wore it. The second thing I learned was, those ropes are like the comfort zones we have in life. We really want to hang on to them and cling on to them because they feel safe and secure. But sometimes they just get pulled away from us. And all we can do is not panic and just handle the situation. The most important thing I learned is that even though I had been really foolish that day, there was something good that came out of it. I finally acknowledged that I needed swimming lessons and started to go get some. Now there is still a long way to go before I can swim with aplomb, but it's still a start. And that is how life works as well. Sometimes we just have to go there, make a fool of ourselves, get embarrassed in order to learn something new or to just do something better. Like last time in Toastmasters, I completely messed up my speech and I was so mortified. But it gave me the push that I needed to just practice more and come out and do it again. And if I had messed up today, I would have removed this part of the speech. So thank you all for being a great safety blanket for me. So remember, just be foolish, be embarrassed, but be better than what you are today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sue, for the great speech. Please take a moment to fill in the evaluation form.